Hello, my name is Audrey. I'm a senior at Penn State, which is a university in Pennsylvania, majoring in biology and biological anthropology. When I was a freshman, I got really involved in undergraduate research, and when you do research as an undergraduate in college, you work alongside a professor who does research that you're interested in to dive deep into a topic that maybe you don't get to understand as well in class. And you often work for a couple of semesters or maybe a year or two to learn new techniques. And these techniques can be specific to the type of research that you do. So if you do more of a history or social science approach, maybe you get to learn about literature reviews or how to do interviews with people. Whereas if you do more science like I do, maybe you learn how to do coding or specific biology or skills that you can use in the lab, such as pipetting or working with cells. And doesn't matter what type of research that you do, you can also learn skills such as how to write up your results so that people can understand them, how to talk to people and do presentations, which are applicable not just to science and not just to research, but to many jobs that you can take later on after you graduate. So, as I mentioned before, doing research is basically a dive into a subject that you are super interested in. So, for an example, I specifically do research on the recent evolution of um, trait differences in males and females. So, basically, differences in height and weight between males and females um, around different parts of the world. Now, oftentimes, you can talk to your advisor at college, and they will tell you about different research opportunities that the university sponsors. So, you don't specifically have to stay with your same project throughout your entire time. When I was finishing up my sophomore year, I spent 3 weeks in Tanzania, which is a country in Eastern Africa, right by the Indian Ocean. And basically, this class was about ecological research, so about different ecosystems, specifically the Serengeti ecosystem in Tanzania, which is where you can see a lot of the big wildlife, such as lions and elephants, cheetahs, and baboons. And while we were learning about this environment and how humans interacted with different wildlife, we were also able to complete a small research project on an animal of our choosing. So I chose baboons and I did research into how they spent their day. So, what percentage of their day was spent grooming each other, what percent was spent eating or walking around or looking around their surroundings. And I also did a research course in Costa Rica. Now, and one thing that I should mention is that you don't have to think of these projects all on your own. So you can get a lot of help when you're an undergraduate from both other students, maybe someone who's older than you, as well as from the professor. So as long as you have a general idea, they can help you along with what your specific project should be. While I was in Costa Rica, I got the chance to work on a bunch of different projects, some related to different plants. So, why there was this red compound in trees, we found out that it was toxic to ants, as well as why certain ants picked up some leaves but not others. Were they too big? Maybe they had mold or bacteria on them, and stuff like that. Your university may also encourage you to do internships and other research opportunities over the summer, and this is a good way both to make money and get experience to find out what you do and don't like and what you might want to do later on in your career. So I did research at Kansas State University and the University of Notre Dame, as well as some summer research in Germany. And I got to work on biological research at all three of these different universities, except they each taught me something different. So at Kansas State, I learned about fish, and at Notre Dame, it was more focused on monkeys. So I really got to figure out and decide what I want to do later in life, which is a good reason to participate in these internships, to get experience, to talk to other people in your field, and to figure out basically what you want to do in the future. Now, when I graduate, I'm going to graduate here in May. My future plans is to work as a research technician in a lab at a university, so basically just helping out with people's projects, and then I eventually want to get my PhD in biological anthropology. And what this means is I want to spend a couple years getting an advanced degree so that I become an expert in why humans are the same and different from each other so that I can start up my own lab. And that's just one of the many things that you can do, both with a biology degree and as you do research if you are an undergrad.